But see, here's essentially how it goes. You're going to get easier lobbies by playing with an account that has no playtime. And when you do this, you're going to end up just in easier matchmaking, which is not against TOS. Sadly, I wish it was, because then we could say, shame on you. You should get in trouble. You should get banned. But it's not. Until it is, it isn't. Some people are just jealous of easier lobbies. I'm a god. Copy this, but it won't work in your lobbies.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and NBs, do I have a doozy for you today? JGOD has quite literally came out and said, yeah, I 2-box, so what? And I've got the video receipts to prove it. He's not the only one. If you ever notice, all of these stat gurus, the guys with the 6 to 7 figure sub counts, all give the same gun builds out, the same top 10s. They give you the same regurgitated slop season after season for 5 years now. Well, they've been wrong every single season, time after time. I'm going to prove that in this video as well. So stick around after we go through JGOD's confession here, which I did have to cut down for time. Fair warning, it has been remixed, but you can actually find this on his third channel. He couldn't even post it to his main. It had to go on his third. On that note, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because over 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. And on that note, let's get into it and let's see what JGOD's got to say.
And that's going to bring us to the 2-box problem. And I know this kind of feels like more of a new thing, even though this has basically been going on since around 2019. I did a kind of a full video, how people have gotten easier lobbies over the years, and it kind of got really scaled back in 2019. Some people don't want to go through the work, even though it's pretty easy to do. But regardless of that, we're taking that part out of it. I'm not trying to convince anyone 2-boxing is good or bad. We're just going to talk about how it's influenced content creation in general. Let's get into the why. So I think when it comes to the motivation, it's just much easier. It's a time constraint to actually record and get gameplays. And I'm not saying boohoo, me, content creator, but back in Black Ops 4, at World War II, and every COD prior, if I wanted to get a gameplay, I would just set up my class, I'd load into a lobby, and I'd get a good gameplay. Maybe take me 45 minutes to an hour to have a really good game that I felt was worthy of an upload, which isn't too bad. Pretty easy, time constraint, an hour of recording, got to make my thumbnail, title, all that good stuff. Pretty efficient. And then you have a good work-life balance, which is pretty nice. You kind of want to be able to work when you want to work and then have your free time when you want to have free time. In 2019, this kind of all changed, because although we had SBMM prior to 2019, it wasn't necessarily the version that we have from then on until today. And I still wanted to grind those gameplays. But these gameplays, it would take me like 7 or 8 hours of grinding a specific weapon to get one gameplay, which doesn't leave you much free time in the rest of your day. Again, boohoo, content creator. So as a result of that, I ended up kind of changing my content. And this was my thought process. You're kind of damned if you do it, because then you're going to get all this hate saying, hey, how'd you get these easy lobbies? But then you're damned if you don't do it, because then you're still going to get the comment saying, how did you get this easy lobby? But they're not seeing on the back end, one person probably played for 45 minutes and the other played for 7 hours. It's not worth that stress when making content something I just want to enjoy and not necessarily worry about. And other reasons tied into the time is the casual player is not going to be good enough to discern the difference, and they are the silent majority in this scenario. And those vocal commenters, they're on every video. Even the guy who only dropped the 20 kill game is like, how'd you get this easy lobby? He's like, dude, I sweated for 5-6 hours to get this 120 kill game. Again, this dominoes into a few different things. The person that got the easier lobby, it only took them about half an hour to an hour to get this good gameplay. Their energy reserves are fully stocked up versus the guy who grinded for 7 hours, a little bit lower. The retention on the video that is a struggle is going to be lower. Your views on those videos are going to be lower. And it'll even get to the point where people say, you suck compared to the other guy, because they don't know that the other guy has easier lobbies. So what are you supposed to do? Let me just suffer and be miserable and actually never try to grow. Especially with the person in the easier lobby that can use different weapons, that have more variety. Like on top of the energy part of it, no one wants to watch somebody struggle. It's just more entertaining to watch a 40 kill game, especially if you just watch it for a 40 kill game. And that's what the average viewer is doing. The silent majority. And I think if more people were honest, say, hey, you know what? For entertainment purposes only, I'm going to be 2-boxing. People still wouldn't like it just because maybe they're jealous or of the lobbies, or they don't feel like they want to do that or whatever. There's some kind of moral high horse. End of day, It is what it is.
And I did want to clarify that the overwhelming majority of those jump cuts were in JGOD's video. I merely broke this down for time. And yes, he does not explicitly say that he two boxes, but he might as well, because he essentially made his way around it. He said everything but, yes, I two box. He said it without saying it, is what I'm trying to say. And it gets worse because for all of these years, JGOD and all of the other 600, 700, a million subscriber channels like True Game Data, all the way down to Espresso, have been feeding you bunk meta builds. These guns are not the best way to build them, and I don't know if they're just doing it on purpose or if they genuinely cannot do basic math. And I'm going to prove that here, and we're going to break down some gun builds. But first, I really got to say, please make sure to like this video so it gets out to more people so they can see the truth, and subscribe to the channel so you can find your way back here to get the actual meta gun builds every season. I promise you, they will be the best builds you can possibly find on YouTube every time, all of the time. Now let's break down and compare a couple of JGOD's builds that are the overwhelming meta that you get from all of the big YouTubers and compare them to my own that went out with Season 5. And first, let's look at the STG-44 because it is the best AR currently. Arguably the BAL may be better, but the STG-44 is what everyone's using. JGOD's going with the Quartermaster Suppressor, the Heinricher C70 long barrel, the Jack Glassless, which optic is always of your choice, the DR79 combo stock, and the 50-round drum mag. 50-round drum mag, of course, it's 40 or 50. It's your choice depending on mode. However, there is a better build, and we're simply going to swap two attachments. It's going to triple our aim stability and to give us the same recoil. We're only going to lose 1.8 meters of range that we can land 18% more bullets. And to do so, what we're going to do is we're going to swap the Heinrichter barrel for the Bruin Accru heavy barrel, which has a bunch of built-in stability. We're also going to swap that combo stock for the Igneous L5 stock. This is going to give us recoil control and stability, and it's going to cost us essentially nothing to make this swap. Just for comparison, I did go ahead and put these together side by side with JGOD's build on top and my build on the bottom, and as you can see, with JGOD's build, we have a minimum damage range of 86.1 meters, and on my build, it's 84.3 meters. That is a 1.8 meter drop. Our bullet velocity with JGOD is 1165. With mine, it is 1091. So you're losing 74 meters per second bullet velocity, or roughly a hit scan range of 4 meters. Again, this is nothing. With us actually having less recoil overall on my build, this build is better in every single way, because what you cannot see here is the giant boon you get to aim idle sway and aim stability. Let's move on to the next gun and talk about the Striker, because it is currently one of the best, if not the best, SMG. Now, at the Striker, once again, he's going to start with a Quartermaster Suppressor, because this is just a slap on every gun for people who don't know how to build guns. Then we're going to use the Striker Stubby Barrel with JGOD's build, which is going to hurt our range. We're going to throw on the RB Crutalis Assault stock so we can get some control back in the gun. And then the 48-round mag, because 48 rounds is all you need in this gun. I agree there. And then the Jack Slash to get some movement, and I guess vertical recoil control, but it hurts your horizontal, making this thing terrible in the mid-range. Now, if we swap over a few of the attachments here, we go to my build, which my build is the Shadow Strike Suppressor, or you can use the Zem Compensator if you would like, the Paracord Grip, the High Grain rounds, the 48-round mag, and then the FSS Priority Tactical Stock to give us a ton of aim stability, 0 recoil, and we have a much larger range. Let's break the stats down here. And if we look at JGOD's build, we have an effective damage range of 12.5 meters. On my build, we have an effective damage range of 16.6 meters, and then we can take the mid-range all the way to 41 meters, where JGOD's build falls off at 30.5. For our movement speed and tack sprint, for JGOD we've got 7.2, for mine we've got 7.1. While we're aiming down sights, his is at 3.6, mine is at 3.5. Our ADS speeds, JGOD's is 20 milliseconds faster, or a single frame. However, when we look at sprint to fire, which with an SMG, the majority of your fights are going to be coming out of a sprint, mine has that 20 milliseconds in sprint to fire, making it even in aim and sprint out if you're going from sprint out. We have a better horizontal recoil control and a very, very small amount more vertical recoil control that you will not feel. And we have the aim stability to take the fights to 50 meters with our striker. This is not even the sniper support build. This is the run and gun in your face SMG build. If these two builds did not convince you that these guys do not know how to build these guns, I don't know what will. I've got videos up. If you need gun builds that are actually the meta, go check them out. They'll be linked below. But until next time, leave me alone and like the video.